I hope you like that. Honestly, I do. So we're dumping on 2021 because in a few days, I think one or two, tomorrow, tonight, New Year's Eve, we're going to be in 2022. Uh, it's been 1 year since I lost my mom. Lost her on um, the 21st of June of 2020. It's been 1 year that I've lost my mother. Uh, when she was around, she gave me very clear indications of what needed to be done with life. I have very clear purpose. I have very clear. Oh, good morning, Golden Hope Terra. I did take a massive dump. It's my second one this morning, though. This is my. I took one earlier. I didn't film it because I was too much of a hurry to get to the bathroom. Oh, do I feel better? Yes, I do. Thank you. I most certainly do. So, again, I do this because it's popular, because you guys like it. People actually watch these things. So it's my way to, dump on you guys and chat, speak of whatever I have to speak about. If your second number is this big, I can only manage the first. Yeah, yeah. I was constipated. Didn't all come out. So I took some coffee, come take my second dump. Yeah, 2021 was the first year I was without my mom. First year I passed without my mother. And up until then, she had been the driving force behind my activities, my life, my purpose. I knew I had to take care of her. So coffee was good for me. Yes, thank you. So in 2021, um, the purpose became Nanda and Rasa. Rasa just went with her mom. I don't know how long she'll be there, but I hope she's there for a while. I mean, she needs a break from me. It's a good thing that she's there. I miss her, but I'm glad she's there. She would be at our relationship had become too chaotic, and she was not really paying attention to me, or she was, but in a very like not wanting to way. So, um, so what is there left for me? What's next for me? Nanda still needs to finish his high school. He's 2 years behind. We're gonna do the high school exam, and I'm gonna get on that right away. And I gotta figure out what's next for me. I want to get my Social Security back. I know that. I mean, that's logical. Um, but what else is there for me? I mean, what you can accomplish whatever you want in life, King. I do. I know that. But what do I want? I don't have too many desires. I like the little apartment. I have my writing jobs, which are if it hit and miss type of thing, but usually hit. I mean, usually I have work. Uh, when I was younger, much younger, 20 years ago, 9/11 and then all the chaos that had been going around me, I thought I could stop it. I thought I could do something about it. I thought I could make it a dent on it or change it. And then as I began to analyze the reality around me, I realized that whatever I did was not going to stop the flood of madness that was coming onto us all. Um, because the human race itself was kind of out of it, you know. There are some awakened individuals, but there's not enough of them to make a real change on the mass of humanity. The great majority of human beings are totally fucking asleep. They don't see nature, they don't see beauty. Music to them is, you know, reggaeton. I'm glad that I was only what? I'm glad I was only a year old when that happened, 2021. Oh, so you're a young one. You're a young little girl or boy. Okay. So let's see. If you were 1 year old in 2001, um, that means that you are now 20 something? 20, 20 years old? 22 years? 21 years old? No, 20 years old. You're 20 years old. Oh, you're a young one. I'm 53. I've been around. 21, right. Uh, I'm 53. I'm a little older than you are. Tara. See, when I was your age, I was in Hollywood, and I thought the world was going to be beautiful. So I was into money. I was for 53. You sure do look good. Thank you, dear. I don't know that. I don't worry much about how I look, actually. But thank you. I appreciate that. I have a good mustache. I have a reasonably decent mustache. It's the only thing I know is that I have a reasonably decent mustache. I've never had one before. It was like, this full. So see, I always shaved it. So for the first time in my life, I feel satisfied with my mustache. My beard is kind of short. I don't know. It doesn't grow more. It's just as far as it goes. Um, we don't change our bodies, so we can't really be too proud of them or too worry about them either. It's nice when you're physically attractive. It's nice people that compliment you, but it's not. It's fading. It fades. Eventually, we all get to old age, sickness, and death. That's where the Buddha's headed, right? So, so when I was younger, when I was your age, Tara, um, I was very convinced that I was going to make big in movies and everything. And then September 11 came along, and I realized there was a deep, profound sickness in the world. It had to do with, uh, the way we were being controlled and manipulated to believe that we had to kill people halfway across the world. So my plan was to declare war on the United States through Mexico, become president of Mexico, win the war against the United States, and become president of the United States, and create a whole new country. That was my original plan. And to do that, what I was going to do was I was going to record myself live so that every single act that I ever did would be recorded and I would be never accused of being uh, underhanded. I mean, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear, right? So, but I did some campaigning. Around 2001, I came to Mexico and I made a letter and everything. Yeah, it was a good idea a long time ago. And then I realized that the people in power were actually not going to leave their power behind. They were all corrupt. They were all gangsters in Mexico and in the United States. And my chances of actually defeating them were nil, were zero, were zip. They had all the power, and they had all the power because they were ruthless. They were mean. And also, if you fight dragons, you become one. So somewhere along the line, I decided instead to take care of my mom, who had, problems, and to take care of myself, where I had problems too. And by the way, I ended up taking care of my sister's children, who also had problems, and just taking care of these little people, small family. was more than enough work to keep me busy for 20 years. Now the kids are big, my mom is dead, and I'm wondering, should I get back into politics? Should I get back into politics? Should I break out of the anonymous bubble in which I've put myself for so many years and try once again to take over the world, literally, not figuratively? But I'm old and I'm tired, and people don't change. The problem with the world is not the Illuminati and the reptilian overlords, and the problem with the world is us. We're the problem. You know, we do things that harm the world and harm ourselves, and we don't really take any responsibility for it. I give you a perfect for instance. I mean, the water here. Look at the water. This is the water that I get from my. I just put it on the. That's the water that comes out of there. So that's what I bathe in. That's the water I used to bathe. It's water. I mean, it is. If you smell it long enough, you get a foul odor out of it. But it's basically clean. It's just very. That's not clean. It's horrible. It's dreadful water. I put chlorine on those jars when I want to clean something thoroughly, and the chlorine eventually makes the water become transparent, and all the organic shit goes down to the bottom. But it's the water that people are drinking down here. It's the water people are using to bathe. It's the water they're using to cook, to wash their dishes. And it's been like that since the '60s when they built the freeway that covered up a river, Rio Churubusco, and they haven't done anything about it. It's like they don't, they're just they don't complain. They don't put plant cards in. They're literally poisoned every day, and they don't care. So if they don't care, why should I care? Right? They deserve better water? No, they don't. No, they don't. And I'm going to tell you why not. Because if they looked for it, if they searched it, if they wanted it, they would have gotten it. They have not done that. They have done anything but that. Maybe a handful of them have, like myself. Maybe, 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 or even 100. But this town is a town of 3 million people. There's 3 million people living in Iztapalapa that use this water daily. You think that 3 million people can't organize themselves to get water for their children? Why? What's wrong with them? Where's the malfunction? Flint, Michigan? Flint, Michigan has still got the same shitty water. There was a riot there's a riot there was a riot in the Capitol building, and nobody talked about the water in Flint, Michigan, right? So all these ambitions to rule over these people kind of dissolved as I began to look at them for what they really are. It's just kind of like animals. They're like little animals in cages. These square box cages. And they don't see things. They don't see the water they're drinking or they're bathing in. I see it. I just showed it to you. There's nothing I can do about it right now. I would have to move out of this place and live in a place where there's better water. I got this place out of necessity because my mom was sick. But like myself, with my stories of why I got to this apartment and this water, there's millions. There's 3 million people that are using this water right now. 9 million people in the entire city that could organize to clean up the water of the 3 million that are, drinking shit water. And they're not. I've talked about it before on this channel. It doesn't do any difference. I've talked to it on the radio. I went on the radio. I went on Adrenalina Radio to talk about the water in Iztapalapa. They don't change it. They don't care. They're okay with drinking shit water. So why should I care? Why should I worry about people that don't worry about themselves? Why should I try to heal a world that doesn't want to be healed? They just want to get their MTV and they want to get their Spotify and they want to get their iPhones and they want to have enough money to go to the mall to shop for a new one. So, yeah. So, I mean, I can say it on YouTube. I can signal it out and say, look, this is what's wrong, and take a dump on you guys, literally. But it's not just here; it's everywhere. I mean, there's a big battle to save Ukraine from the Russians. Nobody gives a shit because it's not strategically important for the Americans, and because who are the Ukrainians? Who knows an Ukrainian? I know Ukrainians. I've met Ukrainians, but you love the dumps. Okay, I'm glad you do. I'm glad somebody listens to me. So, if you look at human history, you realize that this is not a new thing. This has been ongoing for thousands of years. Thousands of years. Just think for a second, Hernan Cortez, the great explorer, comes to Mexico and finds the most efficient water system in the planet. The most amazing water system ever created on the planet. And he finds it. And he destroys it. And he fills in the lake on which it's built so more people can move in. And this is supposed to be the crown thinkers of Europe. It's supposed to be the most intelligent people in Europe, you know. And nobody says nothing. Not Queen Isabella, not King Ferdinand, not Henry VIII, that could have said, you guys are stupid. Why? Henry VIII was a pretty Chad dude, he had a lot of wives. And he decapitated the ones that didn't work for him. What did he say? Hold on a second. People don't know how to think right. Right. Well, some people do. Some people do. Here's the point. I've been to monasteries in Colorado and one in Mexico City where people actually thought correctly. People actually thought of it. Robert, what? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to you, Robert. Welcome to my dump. I'm dumping on you guys about the water. And about 2021. So there are people thinking correctly. There are small groups of people that have visions of how to live in harmony with the universe and with themselves and with nature. And they do, for the most part. I mean, the Hare Krishna temple over there in Allende, where I lived with them for about 3-4 months, I think, maybe 5. They're thinking straight. There's some communes over there in Tepoztlan. They're thinking straight. They're thinking about collecting rainwater, and they're thinking about using processes to clean the water and all that stuff. Thank you for this amazing year. Well, thank you, Robert. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. But the vast bulk of the human species is fucked up. It's just useless. It's beyond useless. It's like, they go to church on Sundays and they get blasted drunk on Saturdays and on Fridays. They cheat on their wives and they beat their children or they rape them and or worse. And they convince them that somehow not being Catholic is evil or Muslim or whatever, Democrat, Republican. So there's this huge amount of human beings that are just totally fucking sheep. Useless zombies, sheep. Fucking squirt, like a virus, like a bad meme. And they're the vast majority. They are the vast majority. There are some groups of people out there, and I won't say they're not, because I've actually met with some of them, that are way, 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 way above and beyond all that. But there's just too few. It's just a handful. Most people can't think for themselves, right? So here I am in the year 2022 almost, at 53 years of age, thinking, what could I do to make not the world better, but my life better? How do I want to live? Taking care of my mother, which is what I wanted to do. Taking care of these kids, which is what I wanted to do, and then now they're getting bigger. So what am I going to fight for? What am I going to try to get? There's a lawsuit for the house that my mom sold to some German kids for 3 pfennigs. Trying to get that back. There's my jobs with writing jobs. I just finished Goering. I just got paid for it too. I got paid for the first draft. I had to do the second draft, but I got paid. So I have a little money arriving on Wednesday that I'll be able to pay my debts and be out of debt. But what's next? You can see a side view of you on the throne. Yeah, you can do that. You see. Side view. There, that's my side view. Is that better? I'm not going to show you my nalgas, my ass, because my ass is private. The YouTube is not paying me enough to show my ass. In fact, they're not paying me anything. I suppose they don't have enough views per week or whatever. Bullshit. Now remember, kids, you have to clean your ass with water, not with paper. Paper is the most disgusting, terrible thing. I mean, I have it for the kids, but I've told them a million times. I said to them, clean your ass with water. They don't listen to me. That's the problem. You'll notice that I have a bucket with water over there. And I have a water spout right over here under my ass. So, yeah, water and soap. A little soap, a little water. I have the soap right here. It's just regular dish soap. Your ass doesn't need fancy soaps. It just needs soap. Clean up the Then you go here. The water on the toilet is pretty clean. And this is not. In which case you grab the water over here. It's a funny thing. It takes approximately 1 bucket of water to flush the toilet. It's a huge waste of water. And it's because these toilets are old. They're not very good. But usually I take a couple of dumps in the morning. I drink a couple of cups of coffee, and then I take a shower. I like to shower because with this water you never get really clean. You get more or less clean, but you never get really, really clean. And then, if I have money, I go and I get myself a steam bath, which I absolutely recommend. And, best thing that ever happened to mankind was steam bath. So, guys, thanks for watching my dump. See you in the next dump. Bye.
Run.